Alright, so this video is of my Hizumitas Fuzz pedal here. Long story short, I ordered this when it came out. It's a Sweetwater exclusive, and I put it on the shelf and basically forgot I even had it. So like a month ago, I broke it out, and I realized it sounded defective. It sounded like there was a lot of low-end bleed through the signal. Very boomy, very bassy. Couldn't get the bass out. Sorry, I'm a bit congested today. I have seasonal allergies that last all year. But it didn't sound good. It sounded very bassy, very boomy. So what I did was, I've always wanted to do a pedal that was based on the Big Muff series, which is what this is. So what I did was, I just decided to make my own Big Muff board. I mean, why not? I've got a line of various types of pedals that I'm working on selling in the arsenal. So I decided to go ahead and do a Big Muff style. So that's exactly what I did. I designed it so that it could be used with top jacks or side jacks, which would go here if people wanted side jacks. But depending on preference, I think I'll probably when these go into production, it'll be that give them an option. But as you can see, I've changed it. It's a complete new board, new foot switch, new jacks, new 9-volt, you name it. Everything's new in it. And all of this is basically, it's your standard Big Muff circuit, but this particular one is based on the ram's head, the violet ram's head specifically. It's got new old stock Motorola BC239 transistors. Like I say, the reason I did this is because the old one didn't sound good. I couldn't send it back because it had already sold out, and it was past any kind of warranty or anything. And that's certainly not a knock against Sweetwater or Earthquaker. They're great to deal with. It was just something that, when you make thousands of pedals like they do, you're eventually going to have a bad one here and there. So that's not a knock against them. But I've always wanted to make something like this anyway, so it's kind of fun. This board will eventually go into a production design. I don't have a design for it yet, obviously, which is why it's in this enclosure. Put these little sweet white knobs on there with the chrome caps, which I think is awesome. So now that you have a little background, at the end of the video, I'm going to go a little bit deeper into the actual schematic. But for right now, let's go ahead and do some demo and see how this thing sounds. Alright, so here's a test of the pedal. Everything's hooked up. I'm running it through a Marshall JVM combo that I've modded like crazy. And I'm playing through my LTD with a DiMarzio Evo 2 humbucker, which if you've never played the Evo 2 by DiMarzio, it is an amazing pickup. But my clean sound's a little lightly Fenderish, so it's not sparkling clean. With everything at noon. Tone on this thing is actually very usable. It's very nice. Sounds awesome. Super, super heavy. Lots and lots of sustain. Let it ring out here. Just keeps on going. So anyway, that is the violet ram's head in an Hizumitas enclosure. I'm not going to sell this one. This will be just my personal one, since I did have to change the insides. But again, there will be a pedal based on this called the Neuronaut Fuzz. Awesome psychedelic on this. And now after this, we are going to go into a little bit of Big Muff lore, history, and about the actual schematic that drives this. So stay tuned. All right, so we've talked about the origin of why I made this pedal in general, obviously due to the faulty one I'd gotten. And you just heard a demo. Huge sound, wall of sound, fuzz style fuzz circuit. Again, based on the violet ram's head, and it is called the Neuronaut. I got to get some graphics and enclosure and all that good stuff put together for it, but you get the idea. This is what it's going to sound like. Now, what a lot of people may not know is that the only changes, well, not the only, the majority of the changes over the years of the Big Muff circuit is really parts and transistor. So the topology, which means the flow of the signal, it doesn't really change. If you look at the schematics of all of these Big Muffs throughout the decades, the schematic it pretty much looks the same. There have been some people who have tweaked the tone circuit who have maybe done a little something different with it, but not much. It really is coming down to the values of the parts and the transistors. So obviously, a little about electronics. Over the years, people that make pedals in large volumes, they have to, they buy them in bulk, and then they'll make, like, 10,000, 20,000 pedals or whatever. If you're electric harmonics, you can do that. So you make all of these and you send them out to all the distributors. Well, they'll have a certain type of part in them. So that's when your transistors are your NOS Motorola BC239Cs. But if you look at the schematics over the years, those transistors have changed. And those transistors have certain characteristics. The amount of gain and the way they react to the signal and everything. So they will change out values of resistors and capacitors. Not much, there was small tweaks, but it's basically to compensate for the differences in these transistors and things of that nature. It also gives the pedals a different flavor, of course. Some of them, if you have a lower gain transistors, your gain is going to be a little bit smoother, probably not so much of that huge wall of sound. But in general, Big Muff circuits are very high gain circuits, which is why there's a lot of noise associated with them. So that's just kind of some things to know about it. And the reason I bring this up, because this circuit here is currently violet ram's head, about 1973. However, I could take this exact same board and make a triangle from a certain year, right? Or maybe a different Big Muff pie from a certain year, or whatever. As long as it's not like one of what they call the boutique variations, where you've had like all kinds of cool fancy stuff where people put boosts in front of them or turn a Big Muff circuit that they've left off some parts and turn it into an overdrive. When you start talking about stuff like that, then yes, the circuit will change. But in general, I can make a multitude of different types of the Big Muffs from different eras with the same board. So, other than that, that's basically the ins and outs. That's kind of a little bit of Big Muff history and everything. And, there again, I've laid this out where I could do top jacks or side jacks. And I think I'll offer both just to see, what customers prefer. Some people like side jacks. Some people are top. The downside about the top, obviously, on these small enclosures is this crowding. So you're going to get you know, I was able to put these large pancake jacks in here, but you have to put them sideways. I have to do sideways here, sideways there, and the 9-volt. So it's a little bit tighter, a little bit tougher. But some people will use the straight jacks, and they're fine with that. Some people will do side. So I think I'm just going to offer, you know, since this is a little bit of a small enclosure and a tight fit, I can do either one. I can do jacks on the side or at the top. Either one works. Okay, well that is it. This is the demo of this. This will be coming to a production near you in the near future. But for right now, it's just living inside my Hizumitas Fuzz, which I think it sounds great anyway. So that's just me. All right, that's it.